Welcome back, YouTube friends. I know there's a million or more repotting videos that you can watch online, and I still watch some. But the other day I showed you I drop potted this orchid, and I was trying to not do it right away because of the blossoms are so beautiful, but it has been dropping blossoms, and my other purple phalaenopsis is just beautiful still. So I know that it's suffering, and even though I put it in this pot that had lots of holes, it's so packed tight, and I thought, well, now is a good time to do it. And the other interesting thing is, it looks like there's two plants in this pot. I'll see if you can see that. There's two sets of leaves coming out. It could be two plants that they put together for some reason. And this one here has a damaged leaf that I'll probably fix. It looks like it got sunburn plus it cut. And I'll deal with that. I'm not taking the whole leaf off because most of it's healed over here. So we'll deal with that, but let's see what we got here. I know if you're new to orchids, then don't be scared off by pulling your orchid out to repot it and seeing this. And then watching so many videos, trying to decide, are you going to use bark, or are you going to go use sphagnum moss, or, you know, are you going to use water culture? There's so many things, and the only thing I can say is I'm just growing a few for the beauty of it in my house for us to enjoy. Especially come this time of the year when this is when your orchids are in bloom, and here in BC this is when we have our darker time of the year, so it really brightens up the house since Christmas, and they're a joy to always see what buds opening next and how beautiful they are. So mine is just a hobby. I'm not going to try and make money off of YouTube. Not that I couldn't use the money, but I'm not going to try to, because this is just a hobby. It's a fun thing, and it's to help show you that just in your own home, and fairly simple, repotting only takes a few minutes, and then you've got another year or two. I'd say 2 at the most from my experience. I would never go over 2 again. My other one I went 3, and it wasn't looking good. So even every year, and if you got a little tag in your pot, you could write the year that you repotted on it, just a piece of tape on the back of it, and you'd always know. But most of mine came without tags. So we're going to take this out of here. There. And there is a bunch of really dead roots here. So those, we'll just pick this mostly out, and we'll see if we got 2 plants. I'm going to try not upset it too much, but it is packed in here. It's a shame, but you know, because they have to make such a long trip from the greenhouse, from where their original destination, wherever that be, they're allowing that, okay, it's good, this is going to keep it moist, but these roots have been in here too long, and that's a fact. Some are brown on the end. We'll be cutting them off. There was one that sort of looked half decent, but it's broke right off here, and it's black here. It's completely hollow here. So I think the poor thing, no, that's got to come off too. So let's see if we have anything good at all down in here. Let's see what we got. So what you want to do is take all that out. You've probably seen it a million times, but take it all out. It's not worth keeping. It's of no use anymore. There's some strings that used to be roots here. They're not roots anymore. It's amazing that this flowered. It's just totally amazing. So it's just showing you how easy it is to keep them going, and how strong, and how they can come back with just, you know, next to nothing for roots. Okay, I don't know if I can see two plants in here or not. That one is there. Oh, if they're twins, they're conjoined ones, that's for sure. They seem to be stuck together here. This one, on the outside, it has a few roots that are trying to come. Some are rotten. I'll have to get my scissors out and chop the bad parts off. You know, you think, oh, I'm going to buy a healthy one. And this was full price. It wasn't on sale. I liked it was the purple flowers, and that's what I liked. And then it looked like there was two. But you know, look at that. And this is from a flower store, Nico's, right here in Salmon Arm. So this is what we've got to deal with here. And we'll cut all this stuff off. And I'll clean it back, and then I'll be right back to... Okay, I'm just going to try and show you a close-up here of what I found. I'm pretty sure this came as a basil keiki early in its growth. Maybe the original plant was sick or it just formed. It's stuck right on there. I'm not going to attempt at this time to pull it off. This is the original plant, and it has one good active growth root here. That's the best I could do with what was here. The basil keiki has three short things. I don't see anything else happening as far as this one, and it had rotted off. So what I'm going to do is repot it anyway and keep my eye on it. It's going in a plastic pot, and see if this one will start to shoot out. Actually, this is the one that has the beautiful spike. So I'll just get set up and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. It has been very interesting. I would have thought there was two plants, but it never got separated, and it's really in there, and I just don't want to upset it anymore trying to pull it off, so they're together forever. So I have here a little bit of water peroxide mixture. I'm just going to spray on the roots. There, a little bit left in there. We'll just dump it. I keep it pretty weak, but I do use it. There we go. Okay, and I cleaned my scissors with the stove on a flame and with some rubbing alcohol, so we were all set. Now, the bark mixture. Okay, contrary to most advice, I'm using a larger pot. Why? Well, for me, if you saw my black paint cans that I recycled, they are at least this big or bigger. The ones that have done really well, like my cream white orchid, have been in that. So I say, well, why is that working? Well, I tend to look after my orchids like I'm always looking at them, and I do spray the roots, but watering day, I'm not always watering. I'll leave them a week, I'll leave them 2 weeks. And I think the bigger ones, they stay a little moisture in the center. So if I was someone that watered a lot, I'd say stick with the smaller pots. But because it seems to work for me this way, this is why I choose that. And at the local, one of the local places, I got some orchid bark, and this is just orchid bark that I've soaked it for 24 hours. And I'm going to put it on the bottom, mostly in the bottom. And then I'm going to try and put this, that one starts to do really well. I'll be happy. Very happy. But that moss was packed so tight. It was just plug tight. There was a lot of rotten stuff. And this is the bottom of a Schultz's orchid mix that I also pre-soaked this one for about 24 hours. I rinsed it pretty good because come the bottom of the bag there was a lot of, it seemed more dusty, so I did rinse it pretty good. So I'm sort of putting a layer of this and that, and then here I have some good question, what is that, Carol? Oh, no. Anyway, it's not charcoal, but it's really overdone charcoal. But I'm going to sprinkle a bit of that in there, and we'll just keep filling up. Now I'm going to use some of this more coarser mix. Wow. So because I got this coarser bark, it should get lots of air. And being the bark's been soaked really good, I probably won't water this for over a week. Like I say, in my window decorations, you see my orchids sit up high on sometimes a bowl upside down in another bowl. Because on watering day, maybe only 3 times a year I actually bring them to the sink. When they're in the window, and the purple one never got moved since it came in for winter. And I keep the bowl underneath, so when I pour lots of, like a whole watering can full of water through it, and I let it go all the way through it and into the bowl. So I found with humidity, especially in like the winter with the furnace on all the time, a big difference if my bowl underneath with the water in, the plant is raised out of it, but the humidity stays, you know, between 50 and 70. So I've been really pleased with that, and that's why I keep doing it. So I'm not always bringing them to the sink. I have my bark one. I do bring that almost every day over for, but these, no, these don't come. So some of these top ones were out in the air, so I'm not wanting to cover them too much at all. The rest were all in. There was nothing sticking out that wasn't rotten. There's a few trying here, and I'm hoping things will improve. I mean, I was just, the overall beauty of it is what made me buy it, and I paid, you know, I think it was, what did I pay for that? It was around $19 or something. I mean, it wasn't cheap, maybe 20. And it was curious because I thought there was 2 plants in there, but those have been together for so long. They are like, really, I think I'd do a lot of damage if I tried to take it apart. And I don't think I'll worry about that leaf yet. It's not soft. It's dry and crispy. And the cut has pretty well sealed itself off. So I think I'm going to say that's enough for this poor thing to have gone through. And so even if you've got your first orchid, and I guess get it out of it. I know I didn't want to repot it real quick, and I was doing other things. And I think if you've got one, really look at it, because if it's so packed, if you see no green roots on the outside of that pot and it's really packed, all of them should be repotted at least after the flower, and those who are brave sooner. So anyway, because I don't fuss with my watering, especially when they come out here and in there. I've probably only had them to the sink 3 times in the whole year. So they're over pots that catch the drainage water. The drainage water gives them the humidity. But I usually have them up far enough that you don't have to worry about the roots are wet. So that's what I do here in Salmon Arm, and I hope you've got that first orchid, and I hope you're going to have a lot of enjoyment out of it. Bye.